In life, many thoughts are born in the course of a moment, an hour, a day. Some are dreams, some are visions. Often we are unable to distinguish between them. To some they are the same, however, not all dreams are visions. Much energy is lost in fanciful dreams that never bear fruit, but visions are messages from the Great Spirit, each for a different purpose in life. Consequently, one person's vision may not be that of another. To have a vision, one must be prepared to receive it, and when it comes, to accept it. Thus, when these inner urges become reality, only then can visions be fulfilled. The spiritual side of life knows everyone's heart and who to trust. How could a vision ever be given to someone to harbour if that person could not be trusted to carry it out? The message is simple. Commitment precedes vision. And this week's opening quote comes from Igan. Welcome to Surviving the Matrix, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Maxwell Igan. It's a pleasure to be with you once again, and I will be your host for the next hour. You know, this was almost going to be my last show of Surviving the Matrix. I had an incident last week where I kind of felt that I'd said enough, and this was a pointless exercise. There are just too many rabbit holes. People are just being distracted right when we need them, and they're just never going to wake up. And so it's pointless me doing what I do, and I should just go and do something else. And that's the way I felt a few days ago. And then when I was looking around for the opening quote to use on this week's show, I came across that quote by Igan. It was actually the first quote that I saw. And that quote is what made me decide to keep going. Well, keep going for a little while longer anyway. And I really don't know how much longer that will be, folks. Things seem to be changing quite rapidly. New data retention laws have come in here in Australia. There's all sorts of legislation being brought in all around the planet. They really are tightening the net, ladies and gentlemen. And actually, I would suggest that if you're someone out there who's listened to a lot of these shows and you've enjoyed the show and you would like to be able to share the information with other people, I suggest you download the shows and the movies that I've got on the website while you still have the ability to do so. Just go through and find the shows that resonate with you, the ones that you think will work for other people, and download them all onto your hard drive and then burn them onto disk and put them somewhere safe so you've got them in the future, because I think we're going to find that the internet becomes very restricted soon, and you might find that websites such as thecrowhouse.com are removed from the search engines. It wouldn't surprise me at all, folks, if they start blocking a lot of these sites from Western countries, simply because of the content of the site and the damage it can do to the oligarchs that are controlling this world. So yes, I would suggest you download the stuff that you want to keep now. And not just with my website, folks, but with anything that you see, anything that you may want to keep for the future, clips from YouTube, any documentaries you may want, or any broadcasts you may want to play to people in the future. I suggest that you download them now. And of course, the reason they are tightening the internet up so much, folks, is because of the enormous amount of information that's been surfacing and the amount of people that are waking up and beginning to look at alternate news sources for their information. They really have overstepped the mark with their actions in the last 12 months. They really have. They pushed things so fast that it's woken a lot of people up. All of these fake terror events that we're seeing throughout Europe and around the world have served to wake up a lot of people, simply because they're so obviously staged. And that is why they are rolling out the police state so quickly and attempting to limit the internet so quickly. because they really are scared of the awakening that's happening. And though we can use that to our advantage, it only works if we actually use it, folks. So this is why, as I've been saying so often lately, it's time for people to stand up and be counted. It's time to make your voice heard. It really is. A lot of people have been writing to me and saying, well, how come you don't provide any solutions in your shows? But really, that is the solution, folks. The solution lies in the hearts of everybody. I can't lead you back to freedom. You have to lead yourself. But if you're not prepared to stand up and speak, then it's not going to happen. We need grass fires. We need people speaking out all over the world, standing up and pointing the finger and calling a spade and speaking the truth. We need more and more people doing it. We can't form a movement with a leader, because any movement with any leader can be taken down. The leader can be removed and the movement can be led in the wrong direction. That's why you need a movement that is not a movement. It is grass fires. It is public all around the world. It is people who know the truth, who are standing up in their own communities and getting involved and spreading information and questioning authority in the right way. That's what we need to happen, folks. It needs to happen right around the world. And there can't be a leader in such a movement. The people have to lead themselves and stop allowing themselves to be led down rabbit holes. And there are so many rabbit holes opening up. And the problem is that all of these rabbit holes cancel themselves out. All of these rabbit holes are their own demise, because a lot of the questions that we're being asked by these rabbit holes are things that can never be proven. Look at the flat earth argument that is rampant across the internet at the moment. And I can't believe I'm actually dedicating any time to this topic, but I am going to dedicate some time to it simply because so many people are being led down this rabbit hole, and because it serves as a great example of the point I'm attempting to make here. Because when you look at this research, this is something that can never, ever be proven unless someone goes to those areas, goes to the edge of the world, or flies around the planet, or whatever, goes into space or whatever, to check it out for themselves. The only other way that any such knowledge would ever be revealed to the people on Earth is if they had access to hidden archives. And it's the same with the creation, evolution, intelligent design debate. It's the same with so many ancient mysteries and so many things that we can't prove. It's very easy to say, well, the Earth is flat, the Earth is hollow, but no one can go and prove any of these things either way, because none of us can get out into space to check it out, and none of us can sail to the South Pole to check it out. I mean, unless, of course, there is some billionaire who feels like hiring a flight or a plane and sailing to these regions to see, then we will never know, and we can debate all we like. We can go on and on and on about it, but in the end, we will never know for sure until we have access to hidden archives. And the only way we can ever gain access to such hidden archives is to regain control of our governments. Once we regain control of our governments and we get access to hidden archives and some of the knowledge that has been sequestered away from us, then all will be revealed. All of these answers will be revealed. Some of the greatest mysteries that have ever troubled the mind of man will be revealed if we can ever regain control of our governments and get access to some of the hidden archives. And all of the speculation about things that can never be proven distract from that one essential goal. And by distracting from that one essential goal, they allow the police state to be built around them while people are busy looking down rabbit holes that will never lead to anywhere except endless debate. And by the time they come out of the rabbit hole, what they're going to find is they can't even do research anymore because the internet is locked down, and they're locked down into a prison, and it all happened while they were distracted, looking down a rabbit hole, trying to find proof to something that can never be proven until we regain control of the system. And all they've been doing is allowing the system to go rampaging full steam ahead while they've had their head down a rabbit hole that can never be proven. So the paradox of things such as flat earth research is that it is its own downfall, because if we fail to regain control of our governments and simply allow things to continue the way they are while looking down rabbit holes, then very soon we won't even be able to do any research at all. Whereas if we were to actually concentrate on regaining control of our governments, all the questions that they are now researching would be revealed to them by default. You know, we have some really, really serious issues to contend with on this planet, folks. We really do. And as far as the alternate media goes, it was good for a while. It was doing good things and it was making some progress. And lately it's degenerated into this mishmash of people that are just arguing and fighting with each other and going down rabbit holes and trying to drag everybody with them. Why can't we all just stop for a moment and look around and notice what is happening on this planet while you're all busy fighting with each other? Look at the wars that are escalating on this planet. And you might think, oh yeah, look, there's always wars. Don't worry about it. It always happens. No, but the wars are different now, folks. Now, when they went into Gaza last year, I said this has changed things. This has legalized ethnic cleansing. And it has, folks. Look at the war in Yemen. And look what the conflict in Yemen is. You had a group of insurgents, basically, people who wanted to get rid of the government that they had and put something decent in place. And then as a response, the country next door, Saudi Arabia, goes in and starts bombing the country to stop the rebels taking over the government. And look what they're doing to the country. They've been bombing it for over a week now. And bombing it every day, all night. They're letting off for 2 or 3 hours in the morning, folks. They're bombing all night until 7 o'clock in the morning and then stopping till about 11 and then starting again. And they're destroying everything, houses, markets, schools, hospitals, everything. They are turning the whole place into rubble. This is how they fight wars now, folks. They go in and they turn the country to rubble and they kill everybody that they can. There is no regard for strategic military targets or not hurting civilians. They just go in and they turn it into a wasteland. That is the new method of fighting war that we're seeing. And this has all been promoted by the United States and Israel. And look at the way they're doing it, folks. I mean, as soon as the Saudis went in there and started bombing the country, everybody else is like, oh, can we come and bomb them too? Are you killing people? Can we come and kill them too, please? We've got bombs. We'd like to send some planes there. We can kill people. We're very good at it. You have Israel sending planes down there to bomb these people with light weapons. You've got the United States sending 12 F-16 fighters, 20 missiles and 125 tanks to Egypt, when Egypt isn't even being threatened by Yemen. Egypt's just going in to join the party. And you've got to wonder whether these ordnance are going to be used against Gaza Strip sometime in the future, because Sisi's also got his eyes on Gaza Strip. And these wars, folks, they're just going in and they're obliterating human beings in massive numbers. That's what they're doing. They're going in and obliterating people, obliterating entire landscapes, entire cities, just turning a place into rubble. And that is the new method of fighting wars. And this is our governments that are supporting all of this, folks. You know, the United States, it's not a bastion of democracy and freedom. It's a war machine that's run by banking cartels, and it's about time the people of the United States took the situation in hand and kicked these criminals that are running their country out. You've got to get rid of these psychopaths that are running the United States, folks. You've got to stop this war machine, because nothing the United States is doing is for national security. Nothing it's doing is to bring about peace. All it is doing the will of banking cartels, and it's going out and destroying as much of the world and killing as many people as it possibly can. And the only people who can stop it are the people of the United States. You guys have got a rogue government. You know, your government, your whole country has been taken over. It's been infiltrated from within. The enemy is in the gates, folks. They've taken over your country, and you are now the most brutal warmongering country on the face of the planet. And you have to take the matter in hand. It's as simple as that. Nothing the United States is doing in the name of self-defense. It's all being done in the name of aggression and empire building. And the United States ultimately is the country that will suffer for its actions anyway, because the whole thing has been run by banking cartels who don't give a damn about the United States. They just want all the weapons the United States has. And it's just all about constant war, folks. That's what it's about. And that's what they're pushing all around the world. And while they're doing it, they're locking our own countries down into a police state in order to protect us from the terrible terrorists that they're out there creating themselves. And the problem for me is that we could address all this very quickly if we stood up and actually turned to face it and called a spade, but too many people aren't doing it because they're too worried about whether the earth is flat or not. It just blows my mind, folks, these rabbit holes that people go down, and all these rabbit holes do is cause them to disregard the people around them, ignore the plight of this planet, and allow things to continue to deteriorate when we could fix things very quickly if people would just give it some of their attention rather than worrying about something that can never be proven until we've regained control of the system. So let's regain control of the system. Let's get some priorities in this battle, folks. Let's see what the first step to freedom is. And the first